Good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming. The Secretary General will start by presenting the annual report for 2016, and then, of course, he'll be very happy to take your questions. Secretary General.
Good afternoon. Today I will launch my annual report, and this annual report contains a lot of facts and figures about NATO. I think it's important as a document for reference, but it's also a way for NATO to show transparency, because, as you know, transparency is important for the alliance. It's important to be able to tell the close to 1 billion people we protect what we are doing, and this is covered in this annual report. At no time since the end of the Cold War, NATO has faced greater challenges to our security than it does today. The report shows how much NATO is doing to adapt to this new security environment, acting with determination to strengthen our collective defense and to project stability beyond our borders. In 2014 and 2015, we began to implement the largest reinforcement of our collective defense in a generation. And in 2016, we took further steps to keep our almost 1 billion citizens safe. Here, for example, you can see our joint effort to strengthen our collective defense in the northeast of the alliance. These are the 4 multinational battle groups we agreed to deploy to Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, and Poland. They are arriving as I speak. At least 17 different allied countries will contribute troops to these 4 battle groups. And we are on track to have all 4 battle groups in place by June. At the same time, we have maintained our political dialogue with Russia. We held 3 meetings of the NATO-Russia Council last year, and I welcome that both NATO and Russia recently took part in talks hosted by Finland on improving air safety in the Baltic Sea region. In keeping with our international commitments, we invited observers to attend 10 different NATO exercises, as far afield as Norway, the UK, and Greece. NATO is adapting to address other challenges as well. Cyber attacks are a growing threat, and NATO is making good progress on cyber defense. In 2016, NATO experts dealt with an average of 500 cyber incidents per month, a 60% increase on the previous year. We have recognized cyber as an operational domain alongside land, sea, and air. And allies have committed to improve their national cyber defenses. In 2016, our Aegis Ashore missile defense site in Romania became operational, round the clock. A major boost to our ability to defend against missile attacks from outside the Euro-Atlantic area. Security is not just about what we do at home, but also what we do beyond our borders. So we have agreed to do more to project stability in our neighborhood, including by training local forces. As you can see from this slide, NATO is projecting stability in many different ways and contributing to the fight against terrorism. It is a fight we have been in for over 15 years. We have 13,000 troops deployed in Afghanistan as part of our mission to train the Afghan forces from 39 NATO member countries and partner countries. They are training Afghan forces to help secure the country and deny safe haven to international terrorists. We have also started training Iraqi forces because training local forces is one of the best tools we have. Likewise, we have sent mobile training teams to Egypt, Jordan, Mauritania, Morocco, and Tunisia. NATO AWACS planes are supporting the global coalition to counter ISIL. Our AWACS planes are also providing assurance to Turkey, which is on the front line of our fight against terrorism. And NATO continues to augment Turkey's air defenses. To bolster our efforts in the Middle East and North Africa, we have recently decided to establish a hub for the South in our command in Naples. We have opened the NATO ICI Regional Center in Kuwait to improve cooperation with our partners in the Gulf. We have launched Sea Guardian, a new maritime security operation in the Mediterranean, building on the success of our mission to cut the lines of illegal migration in the Aegean Sea. And to deepen our understanding of the threats we face, we have created a new intelligence division here at the NATO headquarters. These are all essential steps, but we need to do more to expand our efforts to make our neighborhood more stable. And I expect that to be an important focus when NATO leaders meet here in Brussels in May. NATO has helped to keep the peace in the Western Balkans for over 20 years. We will continue to be a guarantor of peace and stability in the region because it is important for our own security. And we will continue to support efforts for the Euro-Atlantic integration of the Western Balkans, because that is key to stability and prosperity in the region and beyond. In 2016, we opened the door to Montenegro to join our alliance, and 25 allies have already ratified the accession protocol for Montenegro, paving the way for Montenegro to become NATO's 29th member. Last year, we also took our partnership with the European Union to a new level. We agreed on 42 different measures to improve cooperation, including on countering hybrid threats, cyber defense, and maritime security. Working more closely with the EU is important for many different reasons. It will strengthen Europe's security and reinforce the transatlantic bond. All our efforts must be underpinned by adequate resources and fair burden sharing. At the Warsaw Summit last year, we reaffirmed our pledge to invest more in defense and to invest better, to stop the cuts, to move towards spending 2% of GDP on defense within a decade, and to invest 20% of that defense spending in major equipment. This shows that we have turned a corner. In 2015, defense spending cuts among European allies stopped. In 2016, our figure shows that, in 2015, defense spending cuts among European allies stopped, and 15 allies increased their defense spending in real terms in 2015. In 2016, our figures show that 23 allies increased their defense expenditure in real terms by 3.8%, adding up to $10 billion US. So there has been progress, but the job is far from done. We still not have fair burden sharing within our alliance, as you can see in the annual report. Today, we publish in the annual report updated figures for individual NATO allies. In 2016, 5 allies spent 2% or more of GDP on defense. It is realistic that all allies should reach this goal. All allies have agreed to do it at the highest level. It can be done. In fact, as you can see, European allies together spent 2% of GDP on defense as recently as in year 2000. So meaning that after the Cold War, we saw a decline in defense spending, but we actually spent 2% of GDP on defense across Europe as late as in year 2000, meaning that it's possible to do it again when we have decided to again start to increase defense spending across Europe and Canada. And I'm also encouraged by the fact that Romania plans to reach the 2% target this year, and both Latvia and Lithuania expect to do the same in 2018. Of course, burden sharing is not just about spending more. It is also about spending better on skilled troops and high-end capabilities, which is why the 20% target is so important. The number of allies reaching 20% or more of the defense budget on major equipment has increased to 10. So we must redouble our efforts, and that will be another key focus at the upcoming meeting of NATO leaders in May in Brussels. NATO is a transatlantic alliance of 28, soon to be 29 democracies. Our strength lies in our shared values. Our common goal is to preserve peace and security. In a dangerous world, NATO is as essential as ever. At this pivotal time, the alliance is strong because we continue to adapt. And with that, I'm ready to take your questions.